Mom of three called Louise. She messaged us last year telling us that she has three kids and she's a social worker. However, her husband had to leave the workforce to care for their kids because they couldn't afford childcare. This was right before the subsidy scheme was announced. So now, a year after, her family is not eligible. Because of her salary, they can't use any universal credit, but because her husband's not working, they can't use the subsidy scheme. So they actually fall through the cracks. And now she has three kids in childcare, and she's also living on food from food banks. She doesn't have any support. And she's a social worker that is supporting families, struggling families, and with like socioeconomic challenges, but she's also one of them, and that's because of childcare. This is the cost that many families, or this is the price that many families are paying for full-time childcare in Northern Ireland. £1,000 is even looking at it on the lower side. Many families are paying a lot more than £1,000, and this is usually just for one child. So if you have two or more, you're paying up to £3,000 a month. So the subsidy scheme was announced in the first half of last year, and it was launched from September. When that happened, some families, eligible families, were able to get a 15% discount of their childcare bill. However, with the new year and the increase of minimum wage, national insurance, all the fees have gone up. Most of them have gone up by more than 15-20%, so already erasing the savings from the childcare scheme, for the subsidy scheme. We are cautiously optimistic with the government response. They put it as a priority since the Stormont has been back, which was great news, and we welcome that. The subsidy scheme, again, was the first time in over 15 years that the government has actually put money back into parents' pockets, but it is not enough. We know the government's due to announce a childcare strategy now in September, a draft one, and we hope it will use the data collected by the subsidy scheme, by NISRA, also the data collected by independent groups like Melted Parents and Employers for Childcare, and the lived experience of parents and providers to implement a strategy that fully supports families and providers offering high quality, fully accessible and affordable childcare in Northern Ireland.